Hello everyone, here is our Cosmo shoot. Well, Cosmo and surrounding areas, Aria and crystals, and some of you guys got down and photographed the Paris. You were all over the place. But let's start off with a couple of Tiffany shots that I thought were really fun and something to think about. These were double exposures. So she made a shot for the sign and then she overlaid it in camera with the restaurant or store background. So this is Egg Sled. I thought these were a lot of fun. So some of your cameras may do that. Look it up in your manual. If you don't have your manual, go online and look up your camera model and you can find out. So something new to play with if you haven't done that. Down the rabbit hole. Pretty cool. That's one of my favorites. The chandelier looks great. The color, the size of the sign in there. STK. This one's a little more subtle. I almost want the STK bigger. So we're moving on now to another photograph. A lot of times I don't like backs, but it really gives you a sense of the amount of people here. So I think this is working. It would be a good support photo in a book just to show the masses of people going on. I like how the light is hitting that subject and then the guy in the wheelchair is going into shadow. So that's a nice way of looking at light. So be sure to pay attention to that when you're out making images. Now this one, it's a cool bus, but I really am not sure what's going on here. I'm not sure if the story is the bus. I'm not sure if the story is a planters. But then there's this guy over here. It feels very awkward. So I want to get up front. I want to see hit show. That's kind of cool. So maybe you get up front, do something with the bus, do something with him. Explore this further. It's like the first step on your way to something more. So dig deeper. Now this one, I'm going to point out the next couple of slides. There is a lot of headroom here, but we're losing what is going on in the sign here. So we don't need all of this. It would be nicer to have this. Same here. We don't need all of this, but it might be nicer to have the bottom of this other chandelier. Or do a tighter crop. Go in and crop it after the fact. Same thing here. Why do we have all this space? There's nothing over here. There's nothing over here. But we definitely have stuff down here. So think about that framing. Now this one, it's kind of the same thing, but it doesn't matter because there's a lot of activity up here and it's just really working nicely. But the funny thing is that I believe that all three of these are shot by the same person. So one thing I want you to think about is why do you consistently do this? So that I'm pointing it out, it might be how you look through your viewfinder, how you're looking when you're making your images. At the same time, you go on and make images like this that are absolutely beautiful. But I see a pattern here, so think about it and pay attention. Beautiful photograph. This one, perfect lineup of everything in here. It's got a great balance. We've got the whole world Eiffel Tower in here. The flags are coming in. It is just a nice photograph. Okay, so we got these two I want to look at. So 1 and 2, same photographer. I'm drawn to this one because of this lamp here. It gives me a sense of place. Everything is working in here. It's leading me up. It's pulling me up. The line is pulling me up. And I think you're trying to play with leading line here, but there's not really anything for me to look at. So what I might do with this is start to play with abstraction a little further. So take it out of me knowing what I'm looking at and just make it into almost chaos of line and shape and texture. We've got less depth of field here, more depth of field here. That's just because of the lighting that you were shooting in. So use that to your advantage. I don't think it's necessarily working here, but this one is. So as you work through a project or a scene or a location, one is going to stand out. This is the standout. Don't show me the other. Okay, so this one, I got these two. Do you see what's going on here? These are tons of noise in here. So let's take a look at the metadata really quickly. Metadata, here you are. So f36, 1/10 of a second, 6400 ISO. Well, we sure don't need f36 for this one or this one. They were both the same, I believe. 120 or f25. Okay. So needless to say, don't need that. They're fairly flat. So you could get away with f5.6 on these. f4. And take your ISO down. The ISO is where you're getting the noise here. So I don't think the noise is benefiting you here. And if you take it down, you'll probably be able to get a little bit higher shutter speed as well. So Try f5.6, pull your ISO down, and see what you can do. Get rid of some of that noise. But they are nice photographs, so something to think about. Now this one, you look at it and you go, oh no, this was a bad exposure. But the funny thing is, even though it is a blown out exposure, it's kind of cool. This falls into the land of happy mistakes in my world. So I suggested that, and this was Sandy's, I suggested that she play with this idea a little further. She actually liked it as well and included it in her 10 and made a comment about how it was overexposed, but she still liked it. And I agree. So sometimes things that are bad can be good if you can push it further. So I encourage exploration, play, breaking the rules, if you can make the broken rules work for your image making. So something to think about. Not everything has to be perfect. I think it was Sam in class that at one time shot an entire series at ISO 25,000. So that was an intentional choice, and it worked for the images that she made. Maybe she can send those over to me and I will share them with you guys. Okay, so this one was another Sandy. I was with her when she shot this. At first she cropped off like a point, and she came back and recomposed it. And I think this was a nice recompose. Great lines, great shapes, the color's fantastic, the details there. It's just a nice image to look at. A cropping, a real narrow crop to play with the angularity, not really, the verticality, there we go. The verticality of the image. One thing I'd like to see though is down here where it says Poker Studio. I want the rest of the O in there. So little things. I'm always looking at the little things, and so should you. Nice photograph. I love the black and white on this. It just is fun to look at. So these were kind of fun mannequins. So there's two of them here. And I could see a whole series of these chopped up mannequins. They're not really chopped up, but framed to not show the whole, but little details. I could see this as being a really fun accordion book, or images placed side by side on a gallery wall. So something to think about. So I thought that was a lot of fun to look at. A great photograph of the times we're living in, our coronavirus. But the look, the black and white, it's got a good contrast. It's just working. I love this little photograph as an abstract. It pulls you in. You're like, what is going on here? What is this? And then you see this super detailed lenses in here. I don't need to know more. I'm just enjoying looking at all the shapes and patterns and, you know, the questioning that's happening here. The black background's really nice. Everything is just working. It's mysterious. Nice Paris shot. Oh, but wait a minute. I just wanted to point out this little tiny corner. So I would either clone that out or just kind of give it a little bit tighter crop on there. And then the same with these little guys over here. That is a super easy removal with the patch tool even. So take care of those little edges. But overall, I love it. 2 seconds to fix that. Oh, and then the bee. The bee is perfect right here. Okay, this one. I love the reflection in here, but I start to lose that kind of like what's going on, because this is kind of grounding me to realize what I'm looking at. So can you crop this or frame it in camera rather than crop it without this in it? So a lot of times I want to be thinking about that framing while I'm shooting. It's so much better to frame it as tight as you can rather than cropping it after the fact, because when you crop after the fact, you lose pixels. And when you lose pixels, you lose opportunity to make really large prints. So frame it as best as you can. Nice photograph. Once again, black and white. I think that was probably at the same place that eyeglass was, and I believe this is also, Lorena as well. So very nice. And nice. Once again, what about this? I'm like, can it be done without, can you frame it without that little edge there? So just throwing it out there. I like the photograph though. Same with this one, top corner. This is a Robbins, I believe. Can you frame it without that edge? Or if you need this edge, maybe you can just darken it down so that our eye doesn't go there. Very nice. All the angles, lines. This is such a fun building to photograph. I spent some time making images here as well. perfection. Everything falls into place. Love this photograph. Very nice. I love the hard angular lines, but there's all of this sky, all of this open space, and then this life coming in. So you've got a nice contrast of man and nature here. And then we're ending the set with this just really nice photograph of the tower, the Eiffel Tower. One thing to take this to the next level, I know you know what it is, all of you. What happens if those fountains were on? It would be perfection. So hang out, wait for the fountains to come on, go back another day, you know, find this location, wait for the fountains to come on. But it's a nice photograph, beautiful day. So I believe that that is what we have there. I want to show you a few other images in Photoshop that I was playing with. So this one came as a color image, but then I took it over to black and white. So I just want you to look at the difference. I'm really enjoying the black and white, so it's something you might want to think about playing with. I sent out a link last week with the Nik Color Effects or Silver Effects Pro, and that's what I used to create this. I also included a link on how it works, so you might want to watch that from this week's email. It's in there for week 7. So take a look at that. It's a great plugin. Yes, it costs money, but it's worth every penny. I've been using it for years and years and years. Once you start using it, you'll never go back. It has Silver Effects Pro color effects, and you can play with toy camera looks. It's just a lot of fun to explore. So anyways, nice photograph, color or black and white, but black and white, it pulls out a lot of the detail down in here. So maybe you want to play with a little sharpening to bring that out in this one. Just throwing out some ideas. Okay, so let's come over here to this little guy. So I like the photograph a lot, but it feels slightly awkward, like it's not quite lined up. So let's try to straighten it a little bit. So I'm just going to use the crop tool and come in here. And what I'm looking at right now is I'm looking at that center building. That's what I'm trying to make feel balanced to me. By balancing that out a little bit more, it's not going to feel like it's kind of wonky, kind of leaning one way or another. So there we go. So here is a more straightened shot. And from this to this, I think that's a little bit nicer. So on many of your cameras, you have a grid that you can bring up within your viewfinder. I take a lot of time composing and looking at that grid and where the lines are when I'm working with buildings. And you've got these swoopy things in here, you've got curves, you've got I'm guessing this may have been shot with a wide angle lens. Let's go back and look what lens you shot that with. Let me get out of my... Here it is. Shot it with... a 24mm focal length. So that's why we're getting some distortion. The wider the angle, the more distortion you have. Now, distortion isn't bad. It's just what it is. So something to think about. So think about the center finding a grounding. So I think that's working nicely there. Same thing with Sandy's here. Everything just doesn't, nothing has a grounding. So I played with this a little bit. I did two things. I grabbed my crop tool and I used my straighten tool here. So I'm like, well, maybe I want to straighten this edge and see if that's enough to make it feel like it doesn't do anything, nothing better. So we didn't like that. Then I played with, go back to the straighten tool. I'm in the crop tool. I'm using the straighten right here. Just draw a line on what you think should be horizontal or vertical. So when I do that, that feels a little more natural, but I don't think that's as great as what we can do. So I'm going to use the straighten tool one more time. I'm just going to now try to straighten this bottom edge. Let's see what happens when I do that. I think that's looking a little bit better. You're getting all that exaggeration you were playing with, but it feels like something is correct. And who was it? Gary Winogrand. He always did those crookedy kind of photographs, but he always said there's something has to be horizontal or vertical to give the eye something to connect with. And that's happening right here. So something to think about, horizontal or vertical, even when you've got turns and twists and curves. Love some Gary Winogrand. Okay, Tiffany. Let's see here. I played with her image. So this is what it looked like when it came when she turned it in. And I thought it looks pretty good. But I went in and I darkened these areas, pulling more emphasis down into here. Then I thought, oh, we need to get rid of some of those glares. Now, it's all about reflection. This is the floor. But, and I've started to do it on my iPad, so I needed to do a little more work on it with the regular computer. So let's make this larger. And just come in here and use your clone stamp tools and get rid of, I'm going to get rid of the things that are green, because I do think that those are the ones that are disturbing. So just use your tools. It wouldn't even take a long time to do this. Could do a better job here. This is when I was using my trackpad. Okay, I'd remove this, and you can see we pulled out some of those green spots in the center. So no one says it has to be exactly as you photographed it. Tiffany is doing a lot with double exposures, so that means she's not a purist. So take it to the next level. Play with your removal tools. Okay, so here's another one I think could use a little bit of straightening. Everything feels like it's falling to the right. So crop tool, come in here, and this time I'm focusing in my eye on this one right here. Not on this one, because by the nature of the lens, it does feel like it's going to tilt in, as does this one. So I need something to feel like it's kind of level, and that's going to be it. So boom, I did that. That looks a little bit better. I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to kind of come in and darken the edge here for emphasis. So I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to grab my gradient tool, and I'm going to come over here and just dump a little bit of black into here. Now that looks really horrible, so I'm going to use my blend modes in my layers until I find one that I think looks good. Looks more natural. That's what I'm talking about when I say good. Overlay's looking pretty good. Let's keep going, see if we like one better. Overlay's still sticking for me right now. Okay, going back to overlay. So if I feel like it's too much, which I do right here, I can just pull the opacity back a little bit. So we want it to be subtle. We don't want it to be too much. And I can even grab my eraser tool. I'm going to take the opacity down to 50%. And I'm just going to erase right there. A little bit more. Then I can probably push up my, there we go. Push that up a little bit higher. And that's looking pretty good. I can do the same thing on the other side. It'll be more subtle over there though, so gradient tool. Pull this in. Now, with this one, we're way up here into the sky, so that doesn't look natural. I just want it down in here, so let's put the same blend mode on, overlay. Grab the eraser tool. Pull it off up there. Remember, I'm still at 50%. I don't need to pull it off down there. So those two little things right there. So we go from here to here when we're finished. So take the time to work on editing your photographs, everyone. So straighten if you need to. And when we straighten, we had a little bit of cropping here. Do some finessing with lightening and darkening. Do some retouching if you need to. Just go and have a good old time with these photographs. Beyond making the image, now the next step is to finish the image. So snappy, snappy.